On a gray Tuesday morning in 2023, Emily Carson found a small, padded envelope in her mailbox. No name, no return address. Inside was a dusty cassette tape, its label faded, with only 2 words scratched in blue ink. For Emily. She hadn't seen a cassette in years. Curious, she borrowed an old tape recorder from the high school where she taught English. She sat at her kitchen table, heart inexplicably pounding, and pressed play. I didn't mean to kill her. I just wanted to talk. But she got scared. We fought. She slipped. There was blood. I ran. I'm sorry, Alicia. I'm so sorry. Emily's breath caught. Alicia. That was her mother's name. Alicia Carson had been murdered in 1991 when Emily was only 4 years old. The case had remained unsolved for over 30 years. Before we dive into the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more chilling true crime stories. Let's proceed. Emily's mother was found dead in the family home in Dayton, Ohio on August 19, 1991. The official cause, blunt force trauma to the back of the head. There were no signs of forced entry. The murder weapon, a fireplace poker, was left behind. Emily's father, Robert Carson, was working a night shift at a factory and had an alibi. For years, police suspected a break-in gone wrong, but no arrests were made. The case went cold. Now, decades later, a taped confession had arrived out of nowhere. Emily brought it straight to police. The tape was forwarded to the cold case unit, where Detective Sarah Lennox, a seasoned investigator known for solving long-dead leads, took the case. The first step was voice analysis. The recording was old, muffled, but distinct. Forensic audio experts isolated key phrases and patterns. Emily sat in a sound booth, listening to the tape repeatedly. The voice wasn't immediately obvious, but it was familiar. Not her father's, not an uncle, but someone she had heard growing up, someone close. Detective Lennox dug into the original case files. Alicia had 2 brothers, Mark and David. Both were at the funeral. Mark, the older one, lived in Texas now. David had stayed in Ohio, less than an hour away. Emily hadn't seen them in years. They were both contacted for voice samples under the guise of helping with an archival family project. David agreed without hesitation. Mark sent his from Texas. The results came back, a partial match to David Carson. Emily was in shock. Uncle David had been part of her childhood. He brought her toys at Christmas. He helped her through college applications. He was kind, stable, reliable. Still, Lennox pushed forward carefully. Intent mattered. The confession implied it might have been an accident, but that didn't absolve it from being a crime. Digging deeper, Lennox found something odd in the 1991 statements. David told police he hadn't seen Alicia in over 2 weeks. But Emily remembered something else. A photo. She scoured her old albums, finally finding it. A Polaroid of Alicia and David in the backyard, dated August 18, 1991, the day before the murder. He had lied. Back at the precinct, Lennox revisited old interviews and one name kept resurfacing quietly, behind closed doors and whispers. Julia, Alicia's best friend. Julia had since moved to Oregon. Lennox called her for a statement. What Julia revealed turned everything sideways. Alicia and David, they weren't just siblings. I mean, they were, obviously, but there was more. Something inappropriate, secretive. She told me once that he wasn't right, that he'd crossed a line when she was younger. She cut him off completely before she died. That detail was never in the original report. Julia had never told the police. She said Alicia swore her to silence. The timeline made sense. Alicia confronts David, threatens to expose him. The next day, she ends up dead. Detective Lennox and a team went to David's house with a search warrant. They were looking for any items tying him to the case or the tape. In a small fireproof box in his basement, they found cassette tapes, home recordings, old voicemails, and one unlabeled reel identical to the one Emily received. Audio experts later confirmed it was the master recording of the confession. Faced with the evidence, David broke. His voice barely rose above a whisper during the confession. She said she was going to tell everyone, that I was sick, that I was never going to see Emily again. I panicked. I went to her place, just to stop her. We argued. She slipped, hit her head. There was so much blood. Lennox asked, "Why now? Why send the tape after all these years?" David wiped his face. "Because I couldn't hold it anymore. I had cancer. I thought I'd be dead by now. I needed her to know that I didn't mean it." David Carson was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and obstruction of justice. His declining health did not stop prosecutors from pursuing justice. During trial, Emily testified, She spoke directly to her uncle, the man who helped raise her, who also took her mother away. "You looked me in the eyes for 32 years, she said, holding the original tape, "and you said nothing." The jury deliberated for 5 hours before delivering a guilty verdict. David was sentenced to 15 years, effectively a life sentence given his condition. After the trial, Detective Lennox closed the file on Alicia Carson with quiet relief. Emily stood at her mother's grave the next morning with a cassette tape in her coat pocket. "You finally have justice," she whispered. The truth hadn't come from detectives or breakthroughs in DNA. It had come from a voice on a forgotten tape, mailed anonymously, decades later, by a man who thought guilt could stay buried forever. But guilt has a way of resurfacing, just like sound trapped in magnetic tape, waiting to be played. The truth is out there, but it's darker than you think. Don't miss the next chapter in this gripping true crime story. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to follow the twists and turns of this chilling investigation. Stay with us for more.